I'm here with Lacey Sanchez, the newly crowned Miss Louisiana. Lacey, tell us, how has it been since you've been crowned?
I'm having so much fun. Since I was crowned, I was on the job as Miss Louisiana the minute they put the crown on my head. It was interviews, press conferences, and of course, getting ready for Miss America, and I'm having a blast.
How did that crown on your head feel when they first put it on there?
I don't really even think I realized it was on there until after I walked off the runway, and I think I even told some of the girls, there's a crown on my head. So it's exciting.
Yeah, there is a crown on your head, and it's a little bit different from the other crowns, isn't it? It's different from the average preliminary crown, isn't it?
Yes, so as you advance, the crown gets taller. So you'll see this one's got a little extra rhinestone, a little extra sparkle on it for me.
So when you get to, now you're going to be going to Miss America, is that correct?
Yes, in September.
Okay. How do you get prepared for that?
Just really doing the same thing that I've been doing, staying fit, getting ready for interview, of course practicing my talent, and studying up current events for on-stage question interview. The interview is actually my favorite part, so just staying consistent.
So you said interview is your favorite part, and there are several parts to competition. Why is interview your favorite?
I just love interacting and talking with people, and I feel like in the interview I really get to show the judges my personality, and it's a conversation with them, and to me that's where I thrive, and I engage with them and just have a blast.
This is not your first time to compete at Miss Louisiana, is it? What do you think made the difference this year?
Well, it's amazing what you can do when you aren't multitasking to the degree that I was. In last May, a year ago, I was finishing up my last track season, so I was not only competing as a college athlete, but competing for Miss Louisiana as well. And now that I'm officially in retirement and an old lady on the track, I was able to focus all of that energy split between, of course, graduate school, which is my priority, and the Miss Louisiana organization as a contestant.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your track life. How long were you in track? And I know you were in LSU track. So tell us a little bit about that and what it meant to you.
So I didn't start pole vaulting until about halfway through my junior year of high school, which is a little late, but I just picked it up and fell in love with it. And I went to Southeastern Louisiana University to start off and later transferred to LSU, as you know. And it's really just it's such a huge part of who I am. It's taught me discipline. It's given me that work ethic that I'm going to really draw upon as I get ready for the Miss America pageant.
Well, as a track athlete, I have to ask this. Whatever drew you to the pageants?
That's probably everybody's first question. Like, how did you get involved in this? And really, it was my choice, but it wasn't my idea. My sorority sisters at Southeastern encouraged me to be in our university pageant, but I wasn't sold on it. And what really convinced me was my mom had just been diagnosed with breast cancer at the time, and she did pageants when she was younger. Well, she never forced it on myself or my sister. We were both athletes. But I just thought that this would be our project to do and kind of lighten the mood after getting the news that she had cancer and she was starting her radiation treatments. And she's now in remission. And we had a blast doing it and fell in love with it, and we've never looked back.
When you did start pageants, your mom helped you a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything that you could give as advice to somebody else of what to work on? What's the best way to approach it?
Well, the hardest part for me was actually being girly. I had to learn how to do my hair and makeup and even hire somebody to do my makeup for the pageant and teach me how to walk in heels. That was the absolute hardest part for me. But I think the best advice I ever got was from one of my friends, and he said, just have a life. Don't be so serious and intense about this. Enjoy it. And that's what I've done, and I think that's what made such a big difference for me this year.
Well, tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and your family.
I'm from right here, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, born and raised, and I think I'm actually the first South Louisiana Miss Louisiana since 2008. So I'm very South Louisiana proud. I'm excited to represent Baton Rouge as well as the entire state in my reign, in my year as the spokesperson for Louisiana.
Well, tell us a little bit about your family.
My family is the most important thing to me. We come from a very close-knit family. It's number one for us. I have an older sister, JC. She is my biggest supporter, my biggest fan. In fact, sometimes I think she gets more emotionally invested in the pageants than I do. It's hilarious. And she was actually a college softball player. And then I have my parents, Paula and Johnny, who are just right there behind me, supporting me, cheering me on. My mom even dresses me and picks out my clothes for me. She's so great at that. So it's definitely a family affair.
Well, I know in the Miss Louisiana system there is also a platform that you have to adopt and promote. Tell us a little bit about your platform and why you chose it.
My platform is called Design to Move. I was an intern on the groundbreaking floors of this movement at the Nike World headquarters, and I embraced it because it's about getting kids physically active, and specifically kids because we found if we can target them and get them active between the ages of 9 and 12, they're more likely to be active for the rest of their lives. But really, it starts with us as leaders and adults to set that example, be more active, because you reap those benefits of teamwork and the lifelong lessons that you learn and just working hard. And of course, you're healthy. And when you're healthy, you feel good. So I'm so passionate about it because sports and activity have played such a big role in my life. And I want that for kids as well.
Well, you mentioned health. Tell us why it is important to be healthy as a person and to keep yourself in good shape.
Well, of course, it's healthy. Just first and foremost, you need to take care of yourself and you want to feel good. But it's also a societal investment that it's our responsibility to do the best we can for others. And we can't do that if we aren't taking care of ourselves first and foremost. And when you put kids in these positive atmospheres and set attainable goals for them, they realize their potential. And they're more likely to be active. They're more likely to seek out more opportunities. And so really what we're doing is we're creating this positive social trend for the future.
Well, as Miss Louisiana, you'll be going into the schools. Is that going to be the focus of the information you're going to give the students?
That will be a focus, but I'll also go into schools during Red Ribbon Week, as well as promoting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I am a spokesperson for that cause as well, and I actually raised over $21,000 for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals this year, and I want to continue to promote that and bring awareness.
Also, tell us a little bit about tobacco-free living in Louisiana and how you're planning to promote that in the schools.
So Tobacco Free Living is actually one of our newest sponsors with the Miss Louisiana organization as well as Vantage Healthcare. And I'm actually personally excited to work with them because they do have this health conscious role and it's going to fit right in with my platform. It's going to fit right in with being healthy, staying active, and just being happy in general.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you plan to do after you're done being Miss Louisiana.
Going back to school. I've just finished my first year of graduate school. I still have my thesis to write. So as soon as I'm done being Miss Louisiana, it's back to the books. It's back to working on my thesis and getting that master's degree. That is my priority.
Well, you speak of going back to school, and that brings me to another really good thing about the pageant system of the Miss America pageant system, which is scholarship. Tell us, what have the scholarships meant to you, and how has it helped you?
Oh, it's helped tremendously. I'm fortunate that as an athlete, I had athletic scholarship money as well. But that coupled with the Miss Louisiana organization, I graduated and got my undergraduate degree in English. And I'm proud to say I have my degree completely debt-free. And that's thanks to the organization. And now, as I will go back to school, I'll go back and not have to financially worry because it's given me so much scholarship money to finally finish up my degree. And all of my focus will be able to go towards school as opposed to worrying about how I'm going to pay for it.
Well, that's true. If you had any advice for any of the young girls in the state, what would be your advice now that you have the crown on your head and you've worked and achieved that?
Actually, in my interview, the judges asked me, knowing that I had a background as an intern with Nike and I'm interested in sports, they asked me if you could tell girls to just do blank. What would you tell them? And I said, just do everything. Do everything you possibly can. Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone and step outside the box, because when you do that, you're going to realize that the opportunities are endless.
So in your mind, what does it take to be Miss Louisiana?
Selflessness. I am giving a year of service, but I know that I'm going to gain so much in doing it. And I just really hope to make everybody proud and do the best that I possibly can. Like I said, take that athletic background, that work ethic, and put it all into this organization and into my state. And just make the most of everything and take every opportunity and take advantage of the opportunity.